Hello, my name is Roshana Saidazamova, and I'm an Uzbek American. Now, you may be wondering, okay, why does this matter? We get it, you're foreign, but I'm here to tell you about how hidden our personal journeys are as first generation immigrants are. I want you to keep this quote in mind as we go along. Never a place that we fit in, but there's always a place that we stand out. Before we start anything, we have to know what the definition of a first generation immigrant is. It's a foreign born and immigrant. They are interchangeable and refer to persons with no U.S. citizenship at birth. Okay, let's start with our 4 main points. We're starting with morals. There are for sure moments that we face choosing between two cultures with polarizing ideas to what is appropriate and unacceptable. This can cause some tension in regards to internal morals. There has to be a balance between who you are and what your cultural bridges bring. Okay, for example, let's make a hypothetical. I want to post on Instagram a picture of me and my friends. All of them are having a great time. I thought I looked great in the photo. Might as well post it. You only live once. Problem is, I'm wearing shorts in the photo. Now you may be thinking, okay, so what? Shorts are not that big of a deal. I'm thinking the exact same thing because this is me through my American lenses. But back home, where it's a mostly Muslim population, something like this could be seen as the other way, and you might be viewed as somebody that you're really not. So you have to be very conscientious of what you do and what you post. Unfortunately, there's a double negative with how people view you here. They put you to a pedestal. You have to be perfect 24/7 all the time. A girl in Uzbekistan that might post the exact same thing as you, literally the same, could be viewed in a positive way. And then you would post the exact same thing, they would say something negative about it. You're constantly watched, so you're not allowed to slip up. Okay, let's talk about parents. Seeing your parents stress can definitely impact you and your work ethic at a very young age. Looking back at it, it was a huge leap of faith, leaving everything behind, especially family. But with this stress, it was pretty natural. It didn't matter what the stress was about, but it really affected you at a young age. Not all immigrant children went through this, of course, but watching back at how hard my parents worked and still do, despite all the challenges they faced, it put a fire in me. Like many other immigrants, that you want to achieve more and make your parents proud. This molded my hardworking personality, and I wouldn't have it any other way. No Man's Land is kind of like a categorization I made for how it feels to be a first generation immigrant. It's almost a middle ground of balancing who I am with which group I'm with. And it's like a light switch. I carry two different personalities with what social group I'm with. So it can be difficult when put in different social situations. For example, the lunch smell. This was 4th grade. My mom made the best batch of swamsas the night before. I was so excited to eat it for lunch. And I opened my container at lunch, like any normal day, and the aroma burst into the air. It was normal for me, but I guess it wasn't normal for my peers. And I saw students start to squirm, and people start to say, "What's that smell?" and start to say, "Ew." And then I was confused. I didn't know what was going on because this was normal food to me, and it was my culture, and it was what I ate almost on a day-to-day basis. And then one of my friends asked me, "What are you eating?" And at that moment, that was kind of a big start to my personal growth to find who I am. And at that moment, I had a pit in my stomach and my appetite was lost. But with that, I had to face some embarrassment to be considered normal. Another example of how I was on no man's land. Back home, a lot of people assume that I just don't know my mother tongue and I don't know how to speak Uzbek or Tajik, which is completely not true, but it's something that they just assume. And quite frankly, I can get a little annoyed by it, but I can't really blame them. A study shows that in 2018, approximately 78% of all 307.5 million people ages 5 and older, regardless of nativity, reported speaking only English at home. The remaining 22% reported speaking a language other than English at home. So I understood where they were coming from after I saw the study. But it was still a little embarrassing, and I felt like I was on no man's land. And last but not least, it's the fear of disappointment. I already touched on this briefly, but I kind of wanted to elaborate even more because this is something a lot of immigrant children carry with them every day. The sense of never letting your parents down is, although we like to think that we can slack off, it's kind of an innate feeling of making sure your parents are proud. I don't strive for perfection personally, but if I don't try my 100% best in anything and everything I do feel like I'm letting them and myself down. This is not necessarily my parents' fault. It was kind of how I was raised and how I grew up to be. Another thing that I found interesting while I was just thinking about topics, every move I make and you make personally will impact your family's history and your history as a person. So being a first gen, I feel like the college that I go to, the profession that I choose will directly affect my ancestors in the future. In conclusion, at the end of the day, we are all here together. All I ask of you the next time you meet someone that is not recognizable, don't jump to conclusions. Don't assume his or her race. Just take your time. Treat us as if we were just another person. Everyone in the world today is going through their own internal struggles and are constantly searching for who they are. So the next time someone asks you, don't feel the need to tell them right away. Take your time, because it just takes time to find yourself, whether you're American, Native American, Black, Hispanic, white, etc. You are you, and no one can take that away from you. As of now, I'm Roshana Saidazamova, daughter to Akmal and Mavjuda, proud sister of Cameron and Safina, and I'm a strong Uzbek American woman.